Right, greetings to all and sundry, Chancer North Wales here. Time for another Chancer's View discussion about what's been going on, projects, shoutouts, group builds, and some mention of some particular outstanding builds, and generally a bit of my usual discussion about the community. So, without further ado, we'll get on. Start off with big thank you to everyone who's been subscribing. That I've got beyond, that I've got to 411 subscriptions is pretty amazing for a vaguely English chap in North Wales warbling about modelling. That's pretty good going in my book. So guys, thank you very much for that. And we'll continue hopefully on that theme. Our videos will still keep trundling out on this regular basis. Thanks guys for all the comments with regards to my recent builds and the compilation video I did for last year's projects. I would say this year is certainly getting off to a good start. Thank you for the feedback about the Yak 38. My own feelings about that one, I think I probably rushed it a little bit for my taste. There's a few bits and pieces I think I could have done better on it. But guys, thanks for the positive feedback and the positive messages. So, all very much appreciated there. Thanks for responding when I send out a message as well. So, I'm going to talk now about group builds and what's significant about them, why 2014 is certainly appearing to be a year of the group builds. I think the most significant group build that I've seen for a long time is Russell Goselin's D-Day group build that's being supported now and run by Cohen and other guys. D-Day, I think you couldn't have picked a better subject, and I think the response has been that I've seen people doing so many builds, such a variety of subjects, ranging from Lenny's Bren gun carrier right the way across to numerous aircraft, armour, probably there's some vessels in there as well. You couldn't have picked a better, something that would open the door in so many ways, and so many different modelers. So I really think so far that seems to be, in my mind, the most significant group build I've certainly seen for quite a long time. I personally don't have any kits. Well, actually no, I do have kits usable for it, and you never know. I can't promise anything. I have an awful lot of 1/72 scale armour, and if I decide I could do something, but because of other projects, I'm keeping my focus there. So no guarantee I'll be involved with it, but been absolutely brilliant following all the wonderful kits you guys are working on. So and some of that will come out when a couple of guys who are doing I'll do shout outs to, actually doing stuff for this group build, which is really great to see. So I just want to say guys, brilliant what I'm seeing there. And with the other variety of group builds, if any of you do have a carrier aircraft that you can knock together in the next few weeks, I'd strongly recommend doing something for Jake Cutter's carrier aircraft group build. And we have Newlands trainer group build, and I think that's one is a special one for me. It's a subject I particularly like now. I've got an awful lot I've got quite a few models I could do for that. Still in the stash. I know which one I've got planned for it. We'll see how we get on with that, and I'll get to that a little bit later. And after that, I think it's going to be, we'll be running into Speedy 197's 1970s jet Cold War aircraft group build, so that'll be another interesting one to be doing. So really impressed by what I've seen going on there, really impressed by the sheer number of people I've seen taking part in things, and it's given some great projects to follow, guys. Been quite outstanding to watch that. So well done to all of you who are taking part in it. To the guys who are supporting it and encouraging others, you're doing a brilliant job on this D-Day group build. Personal apology that I'm not taking part in the Snap-Tie group build. I've seen the price in Hobbycraft of some of the Star Wars Snap-Tie kits, and I must be honest with you, I wasn't particularly impressed by the outlay for a Snap-Tie kit. I'm quite sure they're very nice, but just really didn't grab me. If I see a Snap-Tie aircraft that does, again, you never know, but it's not Singai, so apologies for not taking part in that one. But that's another one where so many of you great modelers are taking very basic kits and absolutely doing a beautiful video of them. Alex Modeling's comments when he popped open the package for his was thoroughly entertaining, and certainly a much enjoyed video to watch his response to that and how he approached such a monumentally simple model, yet made a really good job of it. So that was certainly entertaining to watch. And with all the other work, guys, even that, guys are taking very simple kits, doing them up, really doing them justice. So all of you, I am enjoying following what you're doing on that. Going on to another group build, this is Radzi 76s and my seaplane group build that will be kicking off in the 1st of May. This is to give plenty of people time to find kits to decide to take part. The group build is also being run on ISM. Razzi's handling that side, has made some arrangements contacting people there. We so far have 10 people signed up for it, 12 if you include Radzi and myself. So thank you guys for your feedback and response, for joining into that one. Please, you have plenty more time to find your kits, find subjects, aircraft, helicopters, seaplanes, amphibians. If it falls into that category, then you're more than welcome to do something for it. Seaplanes, amphibious aircraft. So we hope to see a good mix of Catalinas and all sorts of things. And if you are stuck, if it's a financially tough time, a couple of nice, simple kits, cheap kits, if you are thinking of doing this, but maybe can't face the thought of something as big as a Sunderland, a good aircraft kit that is often out there is the Airfix Grumman Widgeon, that little small amphibian, and then there's also the little Arado, and I should remember its designation, single engine float plane that was aboard the German battleships. Those are two kits. If you are stuck for something to do, they're readily available. You'll often see them about on the shelves. The Arado is done by Airfix, it's done by Revell. You'll find it out there, and if you want to take part, I can think those are two great kits that will be good for joining part, for taking part in that group build, if you're really stuck for something to do and want something that's easy to find and do. So, right, on to the next thing. What's my current project? I'm currently on the painting table. As a departure from my obsessiveness with Russian subjects, this is the new Airfix 1/72nd scale Lightning. As you can see, the primary assembly is done. I'm building this one to go on a display stand rather than normal undercarriage down with no one in the cockpit. I would really like to be able to say to you guys that this is probably the best 1/72nd scale kit I've ever made, but I can't say that. Main reason being, there's been issues with the warpage in the kit. The tail fin has actually come slightly bowed to one side, the vertical fin, and I've also had fit issues. Now, I don't know whether some of this is down to my own cack-handedness, but they do try to put an awful lot in the nose with the cockpit, the wheel well, and in particular the intake trunking and the radar dome in the centre. That's quite a complicated but very well done assembly, and I think unless you're very careful you can have fit issues, and it doesn't take much of a shift in the ideal alignment to create a gap here at the front. So I was really hoping that this would be a filler minimal model, but clearly it hasn't. However, I still think in the scale 1/72, that this is quite probably the best lightning kit out there in terms of its detail, in terms of its accuracy, and in terms of the quality of the kit. I've checked online, seen how other people have got on. It might be that I maybe made a tiny shift in the position of the interior, but that will affect it quite substantially. So something to watch out for in this kit. It's a good model, but I think it's quite a tricky model. I think that's the best way of describing it. I would love to say it's a shake and bake, but I don't think it is. It does need a bit of thought. It needs some very careful positioning. However, please don't let that put you off, because I believe what you will get out of this is an absolutely stunning lightning. I'm doing it in this colour scheme, the metallic one for 92 Squadron. Bit of a shame it's not the 56 Squadron lightning with the red tail, but I'm more than happy with this scheme. And I will be placing it in a flying mode on this base, and I have a brass rod already allocated, and I put in some packers in the jet pipe, in the upper jet pipe, to grip and ensure that the brass rod is properly centered. So that'll sit in about up to there. I'm probably going to trim this to length, and the lightning will be displayed in the mode that it should always be displayed in, which is pointing upwards, nearly vertical. So that's what I've got lined up for this kit, and then it will be going on my desk at work, so I can remind people what proper British aircraft are about. So don't worry guys, there will be the full and detailed build video for this project, step by step, plenty of photos, plenty of comments about it, and notes on the experience. My next steps on this are to finish off some of the detail areas, the undercarriage bay. I'm trying to do the kit with a nice variety on the metallic tones. So I'm using a mixture of Alclad, GW metallics, and Tamiya metallics, and I'm trying to get a nice range of variation. Probably use the flory washes as well, all nicely sealed in, and just see with a simple metallic approach just how many different shades, tones, to give it a nice feel, to give it some nice visual interest, is what I'm looking to do with this one. So it's an exploration about metallic tones for me on this lightning is what I'm aiming to do. And when you have a model like that, and I think if you want to encourage discussion about modelling, having something that stands out, that looks significant on your desk at work, gets people's attention, and I believe it opens up the door for talking about the hobby. So that's also part of the reason why I'm going to town on this particular build, meeting every challenge that the kit's presenting, with the aim I really want to have something that draws people's eyes to it and opens the door, maybe can act as an encouragement for other people to take up modelling, as we get visitors through our department and other such things at work. So what are my builds coming up? Well, for a Newlands trainer group build, I know I probably already mentioned this, I've decided to do this one. That's kicking off on the 4th of February, and that's what I'm aiming to build for it. Main reason being that it's got photo etch and resin in there, and I really fancy having a crack at that. You get the full detailed video for that one as well. For Speedy 197's 70s build, I've had a rummage on the stash, and I've decided to do this kit. I bought it second hand at the Cosford Model Show last year. So this is the aircraft I'll be doing for it, for the 70s crew build, the SU-22 Bitter. And I'm looking forward to doing this one. It's one of those kits that when you open it up in the box, some of the parts have fallen off the guy. You can see somebody's already been fiddling about with it, but it's not really been assembled in any shape or form. All the parts are there. good Italieri kit of a kind of subject that, as you guys know me all too well, I particularly love. I'll be doing it in a nice full camo scheme with plenty of ordnance hanging off it as well. So that's what's to come out. And now we're going to get into the shout-outs, and after the shout-outs I'll talk about some of the significant projects that I've been seeing and following amongst the community. Now my first shout-out, and there's going to be 4 of them in this video, is a chap called Damian Mullen. D-A-M-I-N-M-U-L-L-A-N. As always, below here you'll find links to every one of the channels that I discuss, so everything will be traceable and you'll just be able to go in, click, there you are, and if you like the guy's channel, to sign up. So first chap is Damian Mullen, an Irish lad, gentleman, aircraft builder, who by the look of it has been in the hobby for quite a while. His last video he presented a BF-109 he'd finished and a P-51. I've got to say, beautiful metallic finish on the P-51, really lovely work there, lovely tonal variation, beautifully presented model. He mentioned this was the second time he made this one. He's definitely done it justice. He's got good presentation style. I believe that quite a few have already signed up to him. If you're not, do so. Comes across as an excellent chap and a very good modeler, and I think somebody we can all get a lot of inspiration and ideas from. So Damian Mullen. Next chap is a young gentleman by the name of Fokker DXXI. DXXI. F-O-K-K-E-R DXXI. Again, the link will be below. This is a young lad from Holland. He seems to have recently got into the doing the videos, but I think he's been doing the models for a fair bit longer. He's been bitten by the bug for the D-Day group build, and has certainly presented a very nice. He's doing some nice progress videos on the Tiger. He's working for that. He also does some very nice aircraft work. He's got, again, a good manner, good presentation style, but he's certainly one of the youngsters. And I think this is a case of lad who really deserves our encouragement and our support. We've seen the encouragement, how it's benefited James Day, Aston, and many other, Jim Perisakis. All of us, we've supported these lads, we've seen them grow as modelers, and I really think that Fokker D21 is another lad very much worthy of our support and encouragement. So certainly subscribe to him. Next is another Irish gentleman by the name of Smyth. This is a chap who is predominantly an armour modeller, but he's also been bitten by the bug for the D-Day group build. He's done some very nice work on the Airfix 176th Connex Tiger. Very well done with his own application of Zimmermitt on that. He has also did a superb unboxing of the Hawker Typhoon in his recent vid, and he also does other very good armour work. What was particularly impressed me about him is the depth of the technical detail he put into his discussion. I get a feeling he'd done a good bit of background reading around the subject. I really like the way he discusses his builds, his projects. It's really engaging. It keeps you there listening. He's a good modeller, been doing the hobby for quite a while, quite clearly by the quality of his work, and somebody else who I will thoroughly recommend subscribing to. Many of you already are. If you're not, do so. Smyth. The next chap is a guy who's been around for quite a while and is no doubt very familiar to a lot of the car modelling community. Is a chap by the name of Northern Wolfman, a guy from the United States. What I like here is he's somebody who's also another person who's caught the D-Day group build bug and has maybe moved slightly aside from his Camaros, his Ford Mustangs, and his other very nicely built American muscle cars. Amongst his car builds, his build of a F4 Phantom as a land speed record car that's well worth looking at. Some beautiful modelling and conversion work there. So, but he's also embarked on a Sherman, and I think he's doing a lovely neat work. So I'm suggesting, he's been around, he's got a well established channel, but because he seems to do predominantly the cars and a bit more, and spreading his wings, getting involved with the group builds as well, guys, sign up to him, encourage the guy. And I think because we can, I will say, from the car modelers, us aircraft modelers, we can learn a lot about finishing techniques, getting that shine, particularly if it's display aircraft, things like that. There's definitely lessons to be learned there from the car modelling community. So I do subscribe to a lot of them. I don't comment so much because it's like, I don't know anything about, or don't know much about American cars, so I feel, apart from clicking like, my comments would be, ooh, nice, shiny, I don't know what else to say. Nonetheless, I'm still impressed by the work, I'm still inspired by the work, and I think that's something we can definitely gain from subscribing to people like Northern Wolfman. So, these are the 4 new guys. I should explain that I do keep a list of people that I subscribe to throughout a month, and then I go, before I do one of these vids, I go back over them, see who's posted regularly, and I don't want a video like this just to be a subscription sandwich. So there's a couple on here who are definitely earmarked for shout-outs in my next ChancerNW video. But I feel 4 is something that we can digest, something that I can, rather than just mention the name, I can discuss a little bit in the depth and give more reasons for why I give a shout out to these guys. So, the 4 gentlemen, just to recap: Damian Mullen, Fokker DXXI, Smyth and Northern Wolfman are the 4 channels that I strongly recommend you guys subscribe to. So, now on to things that I've spotted going on within the community, and particularly noticeable builds, guys who have really left me thinking, wow. And the top of the list, and on my mind, this sits a very high top of the list, is Frankie Day's work on his I think it's 1/300 scale, or 1/150th scale Arizona, an absolute monster of a kit. It's a USS Arizona. What really stands out about this, apart from the fact that we are blessed, we are fortunate enough, we are privileged to hear a master builder like Frankie Day discussing his work with us, is that he brings with it his incredible level and depth of knowledge that stems from his time in the US Navy. It's brilliant to listen to. Quite frankly, absolutely brilliant. This guy is a walking naval encyclopedia. And when he talks about a build, the depth that he brings to it is absolutely brilliant. So, I love following that build. And it's not just that you're seeing the master modeler, you're learning so much about the ships themselves, about the Navy history. Even simple, he drops the comments like about the different boats that are carried on the midsection of the ship, and it's like, I didn't know those were the individual names for them. Follow this build, guys. Frankie Day's builds. I know huge number of you subscribe to, and if you're not, why on earth aren't you? Subscribe to this gentleman. Follow his Arizona build, and you won't just learn how to build a brilliant ship, you'll learn an awful lot more about ships as well, and particularly about the US Navy. So Frankie, if you're listening to this, keep up your great work, mate. Hugely, hugely, hugely impressed. The next chap I'm going to mention is our much beloved friend Alex Modelling, and his work on the 1/48 scale MiG-15. Thoroughly enjoyed listening and following that. Some very nice work going on there. He's doing a great job of it. Working at a scale that I don't go near, but on the kind of subject that I absolutely love. So what else am I seeing? Well, quite frankly, it's following this D-Day group build is just great. As I've said this before, so this is where I'm seeing some amazing work, some huge variety, and I continue to be impressed by the new people coming into this community, the work they're doing, the way this community is working. Yes, there's ups and downs, and I know some people have been recently upset or peed off by certain circumstances. Unfortunately, that happens in any community and every environment. I just say, guys, whatever happens, hang on in there, stick with it. We're all a part of this community, and there's always going to be ups and downs that we're going to go through in any group of people. But for the most part, I see a place that I like coming to. I see a community I feel very much a part of, and I regard you all as my friends, my colleagues, and you've turned modelling into an excellent, deeply appreciated and social activity. So I've warbled on, waffled on, chatted, nattered for quite a length of time now. The next build vid you're going to see from me will be for the Lightning. Then we'll be plunging into the Yak 23. Then we'll see how we go with the schedule of the group builds. So gentlemen, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for your feedback. Thank you all for your comments. I pray that you will keep yourself safe, healthy, that you will continue to model, find the time with your families as well, and that you will continue to make this community one of the most wonderful places that has yet I've yet encountered on the web, for its friendliness, for its genuineness, and for the sheer quality of what we share and what we learn. So guys, till the next time, God bless and stay safe. Chancer North Wales signing out.